Hi, everybody. This is Kim Ware, and today I'm going to do a deeper dive with you into critical thinking, logic, and laws. So in this course, we are examining critical thinking in a variety of perspectives. And what I want you to understand more than anything is that there is everyday application to critical thinking. We may not be critically thinking all the time, but all the time we can access the tools for critical thinking and make great arguments and great justifications and tease out what is true and what is not true. So critical thinking is giving possible meaning and significance to a claim. As you recall, we learned all about that last week. Another point of review is that logic is the study of correct thinking. The word logic actually comes from the Greek word logos, which is the study of principles of reasoning. It's a set of premises that are explained and arranged so as to bring a conclusion. So if A equals B and B equals C, then A must also equal C. I'll say it again one more time. If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. So think through that a few more times if it doesn't quite make sense. Last week, we also covered this idea of deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. Remember that deductive logic is a method for validating a claim by means of supporting information where both the claim and the support is necessarily true. For example, we could say that people exist, all people breathe, therefore all people breathe. People exist, all people breathe, therefore all people breathe. Now, inductive logic is different because it's a method of drawing a conclusion from supported information, but the conclusion hasn't necessarily been verified. So we don't know for sure if the outcome is going to be true. So for example, I could say, each night I get tired at 10 p.m. Therefore, I conclude that tonight I will be tired at 10 p.m. And that's inductive because we haven't gotten to tonight yet at 10 p.m. to verify whether or not I will in fact be tired. So we have critical thinking as a way of giving significance and meaning to claim. We use logic and reasoning in this process. And so today what I really want to spend time on the three laws that we talk about in regard to logic that help determine what is rational and what is real. First of all, you should know that these laws were developed by Aristotle. See this cool picture of this Greek guy. He was a Greek philosopher, and he placed a lot of emphasis on reason and the natural world. He was a student of Plato, and he turned out to be a tutor for Alexander the Great. So we're talking about several hundred years ago. So if Aristotle piques your interest, I encourage you to go look him up. But just know, I think I bring this up because these laws are not a new idea. They have been used for a really long time to help us determine appropriate reasoning and truth. So these three laws of thought include 1, the law of non-contradiction, 2, the law of identity, and 3, the law of the excluded middle. So let's start with number 1, the law of non-contradiction. So when we're talking about the law of non-contradiction, we can break down the idea of non and contradiction to say we're looking for no contradiction. Now, we have contradictions throughout our lives. For example, we have no pets allowed, and then a sign underneath that says all pets must be on a leash. So doesn't that kind of not work out if there's no pets allowed, and yet if we do have a pet, it should be on a leash? That's a contradictory sign. Now, we could also say that this guy is a married bachelor, but there's no such thing as a married bachelor. You can't be married and be a bachelor at the same time. So when we look at the law of non-contradiction, we're really exploring this idea that it cannot be true and not true at the same time. So no true and false can coexist. For example, a cat can't be a dog and a dog can't be a cat. They're either a cat or a dog. Now, this law of identity. The law of identity says that if a statement can be determined to be true, then it is true. Everything is itself and cannot be something else. I am Kim Ware, and everything that is involved in being Kim Ware is a part of being Kim Ware. So I can't be something else and be Kim Ware at the same time. A thing is identical with itself. So X equals X. X cannot equal Y. X cannot equal Z. X is identical to X, and that is the law of identity. And so third and finally, we have this idea of the law of excluded middle. So really, when you're thinking about an excluded middle, we're thinking about no third option. It's either true or false. So we have this, what could be considered a pretty kitty here, who is, we'll say, in the middle of a meow. This cat is a cat, true or false. There is no middle ground. There's nothing in between. It's not a cat dog. It's not a cat whale. It is a cat. So there is no third option, and that third option is not known. It either is or it isn't. So we use these three laws in the study of logic in the process of critical thinking to help us determine what is true and what is not true. Now, for some of you, this can be a very new and harried concept and can feel really tricky. So I assure you, take your time, ask me questions if you have them, and remember, all three of these together are really capitalizing on the idea of true and false. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.